Good morning, Kahal Kadosh. Today, Thursday, the 7th day of Kislev, corresponding to the 27th day of November 2025. Today's class graciously sponsored by Karen and Maurice Chera, Le'ilui Nishmat, his beloved mother, Shoshana Bat Leah, Mrs. Florence Chera, Aleha Shalom. Additionally, today's class dedicated Le'ilui Nishmat, my dear father-in-law, Menachem Ben Belina, that in a few days will be the first anniversary of his passing, Aleha Shalom. As today we know is the day of Thanksgiving being observed in the United States. Be'ezat Hashem, time allowing, I will be discussing the halachic ramification of this man-made type of holiday. On a different note, as we announced yesterday, as I'm speaking now, the program for our Kollel will be starting in a few minutes, and Be'ezat Hashem, I will be participating in the program as well. So the topics that the Kollel will be discussing today, and Be'ezat Hashem, we are going to record the audio of the class and then submit it to Torah. It will be if you can gift non-kosher holiday baskets to your employees. Can you sell non-kosher turkeys for Thanksgiving to Goyim, obviously? Can you own stock in a non-kosher company? Can you be an Uber driver to deliver Uber Eats? Those are fascinating questions because they deal with halachic ramifications. What happens, let's say, if you drive for Uber Eats and suddenly a Jew orders non-kosher food and you have to pick it up from the non-kosher restaurant and you have to deliver it to the Jewish home? Can you do that? Or you're helping the Jew to do an avon, etc.? I know that some already may know the answer, but let's wait till we hear from our Rosh Kollel, Diane Friedman, Shelita, and we're going to be able to understand how halakha looks and all these scenarios. Now, since I have a limited time for today's class, but I did not want to cancel the class, maybe I go straight into the always question about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, it's a Jewish concept. That doesn't mean Thanksgiving Day is a Jewish concept, but the whole idea of giving gratitude to Hashem is a concept of Am Israel that has been minted by thousands of years. This is one of the reasons why we are called Yehudim. Now, Yehudim comes from the Lashon Hoda'ah. Hoda'ah means to express gratitude. For example, in our daily prayers, we have a pasuk that says, Hodu la Hashem, be grateful to Hashem. Or, Hatov Shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. That's the beracha birfot kohanim. Ulcha, to you na'eh lehodot. Also to express gratitude. The word Hoda'ah, it comes actually from Sefer Bereshit, when the Torah discusses, similar to this week's Torah reading, the birth of the Shevatim, the birth of the 12 tribes of Israel. When Leah Imenu, Leah's, Yaakov Avinu's wife, gives birth to child number 4, she calls him Yehuda. And the pasuk says, Hapam odet Hashem, this time I will be grateful to the Almighty. What prompted her to call her son Yehuda, Yehuda? Because she acknowledged and understood that she received a bigger portion than the rest of the wives of Yaakov Avinu. They all knew that Yaakov Avinu was going to have 12 children. Now, if Yaakov Avinu has Leah, Rachel, Leah, Bilha, Zilpa, that means that each one technically will have 3 children. The moment that Leah gives birth for number 4, which is called Yehuda, it's called Yehuda for this particular reason. Based on that story, which is found now in this week's Perashiot on the topic of Yaakov, Rachel, Leah, etc., we are called Yehudim. So I believe that this clears the air to understand that the concept, and I repeat, I don't want anybody to take my speech, cut and paste and doctor it by saying, oh, the rabbi said. No, the rabbi didn't say. The rabbi is saying that the concept of giving gratitude to Hashem is the foundation of Judaism. And we say, Baruch Hashem, we bless Hashem, thank you Hashem. Even the songs became popular, thank you Hashem, etc. But let's now open this up more from a halachic perspective. Okay. There is a concept of, in the Torah actually, a pasuk that says, "Uvchukotehem lo telechu." There is a biblical prohibition of imitating goyim, imitating what the goyim do. The Rambam discusses this in different examples, and I have some notes. And it says, for example, the way of the dress, the way of the haircut. Sometimes you go to barbershops and they show different pictures. And if these haircuts are based on Goyim style, a Jew cannot have it. For example, I'll tell you one example that some people do. Unfortunately, it's called a mushroom haircut. What does that mean? Basically, they taper everything from the top towards the bottom, but they leave a lot of hair on top. That is called that type of haircut. That's halachically a problem. I even saw school letters locally and in different places of the world that the school trying to educate the young generation, guiding them what is considered a proper, respectful, suitable Jewish haircut, or, God forbid, imitating the Goyim. That is one example. Haircuts, the way Goyim dress, the way a Yehudi dresses. Goyim don't pay attention how they dress. A Jew dresses with a certain decorum, certain respect, certain derecheres, and obviously a certain level of modesty. Any one of us that lives Torah, learns Torah, goes to the synagogue, Baruch Hashem, has this sensitivity. I'm going to go to pray. I need to make sure that I'm clean, that I'm presentable within the parameters of understanding of the Torah. I'm looking in the meantime at my notes. Also, there is a concept that the Goyim have something called peritzut. Peritzut means the opposite of what the Torah shows us and encourages us to live by. Peritzut basically means no boundaries, no guidelines. I do what I please, when and how, and don't tell me what to do. Our Torah Kedosha, our Holy Torah, is completely the opposite. The Pasuk writes, Ubhokotehem lo telechu. Don't assimilate, don't learn from the ways of the Goim. The Mishnah writes, Be'asu seyag la Torah. Create fences of protection to our life. Gedarim, that's called in Jewish law, Gedarim and Seyagim, fences and walls of protection, the way we have been learning in the past few days in the book of Mishle. Today, we're not going to learn Mishle because I need to go quickly to the Kollel program. I told them to start without me, but we are on a shiur today. That's the reason why I'm relocated to the Midrash, because the lobby Puede Yosef has nowhere to move. A lot of people, Puede Yosef, magnificent breakfast and great shiur will be forthcoming. But bottom line, the celebration of the Thanksgiving, and especially knowing the background of the story, who were the ones that activated this type of celebration. I'm not an expert of Thanksgiving history, I must say that, but I do remember the concept of the pilgrims coming to America. Now, where these pilgrims came from. So if I recall on the limited research that I made, it was that basically they were like an offshoot of Christianity, and they were being chased by the mainstream Christians. Meaning to say that the whole background of this eventual miracle, let's call it, that the pilgrims consider it, it was all connected to the topic of religion and beliefs, etc. Now, even though some people may say, never heard such a thing, okay, perhaps do some homework and understand that a lot of the celebrations that the world observes today is all connected to some type of paganism, like the holiday known in the candy industry as Halloween, for example, Hamavdil. I'm not comfortable even to say this word, but basically, do your research and you'll understand the pagan act that they were activated and the executions that were taking place, etc. I don't want to drag too much into this topic. Then you have December 25th, also a man-made type of date, and then you have January 1st, also a man-made type of date. So bottom line, halachically, I don't think that is suitable or appropriate for a Jew to observe this day as the rest of America may do. That doesn't mean that whoever is doing it is doing a sin. I think we need to check that with the biggest rabbis that perhaps can give a better halachic ruling. But I say to whoever asks me, Rabbi, I have a situation, my mother-in-law, my parents, my sister created this meal. What do? I don't feel comfortable going, but I have to go, etc. So my first answer will be to anyone dealing with this type of personal question, they should check with their own rabbi. Why? Because each person has its own, supposed to have its own rabbi, and it has its own peculiar situation. But I tell you what I told somebody here the other day, and I said to the person, if there is a way for you not to come, he says, impossible, I need to be there. I said, okay, so you're going to be the rabbi of the Thanksgiving. According to some opinions, when you're in a situation like this, try to make the best out of it. Meaning to say what? Basically, obviously we're talking about a kosher seudah. That's obvious. Now, is kasher, Hazako Baruch. Maybe make sure to say berachot, maybe say a few words of Torah, maybe express the importance of being grateful, of having a karat tov to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Not only that, without thinking too much. What is the first word that when a Yehudi wakes up in the morning says on a regular basis? What do we say? Modeh ani. What's the meaning of Modeh ani? I'm thankful to Hashem. Now, I'll finish with this. The common meal of Thanksgiving, yes, the common meal of Thanksgiving is turkey. Turkey. Okay? Don't you hear all the time the presidents, I think, forgives, right? The turkey, they make a whole event in the lawn of the White House. Okay? So how do you call a turkey in Hebrew? I'm sorry, I'm putting my hand because I'm being called every second. Rabbi, we're waiting. He said 2 minutes, I'll be there. How do we call in Hebrew turkey? Thanks, hodu. Hodu. What is the prayer of gratitude? Hodu. Hodu la Hashem kiru bishmo. So even what the Goyim are celebrating as part of their historical situation going back a couple of years back, it has a Jewish connotation. So we're going back to the question, is Thanksgiving a Jewish holiday? For sure not. But Thanksgiving is a Jewish concept. And it's very important that we count our blessings and we thank Hashem for giving us all the goodness of our life. One great rabbi that it will remain nameless, this way I don't create any issues for him, he says one more concept, that a person to be grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we live in a place, in a society, in a generation, in a country, that Baruch Hashem, we are able to be Oved Hashem, that we are able to serve God, and we are able to do mitzvot, ma'asim tovim, that there is anti-Semitism in the world? Yes. That there is anti-Semitism in America? Regretfully, yes. But guess what? Anti-Semitism